Yeah, so I invite us all to close our eyes. And our theme for this week is peace. And so I invite us all to just, this is a familiar word. Maybe it has a positive connotation, maybe not. And then there's all these synonyms for peace, just being calm, feeling relaxed. And then there's all these connotations related to war and peace, right? All of that, whatever comes is right for us. And so just sitting with that, just tuning into where we are. Maybe we've had a long day, maybe we've had a long week, or maybe not. Maybe we're having a glorious day, especially in relation to how peaceful the day has been. And so that's pretty much it. We're just tuning in for a little bit. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we'll go around since we have a smaller group, at least right now. It is growing. Seems like we're getting a couple more people more every week. And we'll go around just very quickly. You can say your name and where you're from. And then if you'd like, it's totally optional. You can talk a little bit about this theme of peace for you. We try to keep it short, 1 or 2 minutes. And I'll go ahead and go first. I'm Robert from South Hadley, Massachusetts. And I would say I've had ups and downs today, but I think what's really beautiful about meditation is, and there was a great study done on this, is that people who meditate a lot, you can come back to that centeredness, you can come back to that wonderful, serene peace whenever you'd like. And I definitely had that experience today. I was late picking up my son from school and I was a total mess. But now, look, we returned back to where we were. And that's a really wonderful gift of meditation because most people, to get back to that state, that reset, they need to go through a full sleep cycle. So that's what comes up for me. So yes, so now let's meditate together. So I invite you all to close your eyes again. And then we begin by focusing on the posture, preparing the body to meditate. It's very good if the spine is straight, pointing up to the ceiling, shoulders back, chest exposed. It's very helpful if the hips are higher than the knees. And so in the future, if you're taller and you need some cushions so that the hips are higher, it opens up that whole pelvic area. Feet flat on the ground. We meditate with our palms up on our lap. This is symbolic that in this meditation tradition, we have more effect on our environment and those around us than it has on us. And so, yeah, that's the basic posture. It's very good if the top of the back, it's okay if the lower back is against the seat or the back of the chair. But the top of the back should be pointing straight up. And this just helps us to stay alert and, helps us later in the day, like in the evening, not to fall asleep. And so then the first step in the practice is just to observe our breath, tuning in to the everyday breath. Using our perception to sense the breath and sense any energies in the body, and just feeling the breath as it, comes into the body. Any sensations related to the chest and the lungs, just sensing, just feeling. And then tuning into the breath as it leaves the nose, in and out through the nose. And so this is already part of our theme for peace, because in our tradition, this breathing pattern in through the nose and out through the nose, we call the earth breath. We have four elemental breaths: earth, water, fire, and air. And then our second meditation today will be the air breath, and that's, for example, in and out through the mouth. And so already we made kind of a little intervention. Maybe some of us aren't always nose breathers. Most people are, though. And so we breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. And I think just naturally, with this intention and this focus, we begin to breathe more deeply. And this is very much desired. So that first step, we could sit here and just notice our everyday breath for a whole half hour or even longer. That's actually what I would call an advanced practice. It's very difficult. And so we make it a lot easier on ourselves by breathing more fully. So this is the second step, is moving toward the rhythmic breath, the full rhythmic breath. And I really recommend putting our hands on our stomach. And when humans are breathing, in a very healthy way, it's actually the stomach that begins to expand a lot and contract a lot. All of these, very famous singers, I think they work on this. And then when we watch the little children breathe, especially babies, it's mostly a stomach breath. And in our tradition, we say that breath is life. Breath is life. With more breath, there's more life force. And then even on the physical, there's more oxygen going to all the cells all across the body. It is how we nourish ourselves with every breath, bring life to our being with every breath. So here we are with maybe our hand on our stomach if it feels comfortable. And with every breath, it's deeper and deeper, more full and more full. And then really the secret to a full breath, my teacher, Madeleine Baer, says, is a full exhale. Because sometimes there's a lot of fear with letting that extra bit of air out on the exhale. Believe it or not, this is something I worked on for years, is to getting a better exhale. And one of my tips is I like to put my fingers on my belly button and kind of flex the stomach muscles until the belly button is almost touching the back of the spine. There can be a lot to work through there. There's a lot of social programming, that we have around the stomach, even shames around having, a perfect stomach. And this is very, very natural for there to be some resistance. So here we are, just deepening this mechanism that was made for us. It's part of what we are at a very basic level. And then and of course, we could stay there for the meditation if we feel comfortable just having a full breath with a hand on our stomach. But if you'd like to continue, the next intervention that we take is to put our hand on our chest. And then we begin to focus on the heart center, our physical heart. Tuning in, it's really the full breath, the rhythmic breath, in combination with tuning into the heart center. The other thing I kind of forgot this step is it's very helpful to balance the inhale and the exhale. Usually it takes some effort. If one or the other, it becomes a little bit more difficult, and that's natural. It's almost, are we naturally receptive or expressive? And it's reflected in the breath. And so we can play with that a little bit, balancing the breath, the full breath, with our hand on our chest. And then the next step in the practice is as we place our attention on the heart center, on our physical heart, we're seeing if we can get a sensation of the heartbeat. For some who are very, I feel are very lucky, this was not my experience. By just putting their hand on their heart and breathing deeply, they start to feel the heartbeat or the pulse somewhere in the body. And so just tuning in to see if we can get some sense. Very often it comes and it goes. And then feel free any way that you think that you may be able to get a sense for the pulse on the wrist. We can put our thumb on our wrist or on the neck and put some fingers on the neck. Even just for a little bit during the meditation, it can be very, very helpful. But this is basically the core of our basic practice, is feeling the heartbeat and feeling the breath. And what we find is with these both together, all of the challenges, the concentration and the memories and the monkey mind, they are greatly reduced. It's as if the mind is given this task of feeling the rhythm, the natural rhythms of the body, the heartbeat and the breath. And if the heartbeat, as we say, the heartbeat is hiding, it's not coming easily. This is very normal. This is a natural. For myself, it took 2 months before I could feel my heartbeat. We can just use a slow, steady count, our imagination. And what happens is basically with every meditation, the nervous system develops the capability to sense the heartbeat more and more. And it's just a matter of time. And then sort of the final step in the basic practice, and this is something that takes years to master, is to count the heartbeats on the inhale and the exhale. And so you can imagine the body has its own natural clock to measure time with the heartbeats. And so we go into this amazing state of resonance if the inhale and the exhale are balanced with the heartbeat. And so what that would be like is 4 heartbeats on the inhale, then 4 heartbeats on the exhale. And then maybe that's, we need a little bit of a larger inhale and exhale. So we move up to 6 heartbeats on the inhale, 6 heartbeats on the exhale, or maybe 8. Usually for someone starting out, 4, 6, or 8 are kind of the numbers to use. And so let's play with that, kind of find what rhythm works for us. And so we play with this for a little bit. Or we continue the guide, as I guide the meditation, you find what is comfortable for you. Very often I meditate just with a full breath. And probably the normal place that I like to be is just feeling the heartbeat with a deep breath in guided meditations. And so we're going to go just a little bit further in this first meditation and focus more on the earth element. And so this is this is one of our four fundamental attunements in meditation, and very much peace is a very kind of core experience that we have when we do the earth breath. And so the earth breath begins by breathing down below us to the earth as if we're great trees. And so on the exhale, we breathe down. So we use our attention and our breath to breathe the energies of our heart and even all along the spine, through the second center and the root center, all the way down toward the earth as if we're growing roots into the earth with every exhale. And then with every inhale, we breathe the energies of the earth back to us, back to the heart. And then we can also breathe down through the legs. A lot of people like to do it this way or both. And so with every exhale, as if we're going deeper and deeper into the sediment and all of these layers of this magnanimous planet that we live on. With every breath, it's like a deepening. And then with every inhale, we breathe up nourishing energy, fresh, revitalizing energy from the planet. This is a symbiotic relationship that we have with our mother planet, with Mother Earth. And so with this breath, we further connect. We connect our hearts with, really, it's the core of the earth, the heart of the earth. Deep down, 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 we start to reach this molten hot core of the earth. And we have this connection that strengthens. With every inhale, with every exhale, our connection becomes stronger and stronger. And so then I can feel like we have quite a connection going on here as a group. This is a wonderful time. Just breathe down all of our anxieties, all that which no longer serves us at this time. We carry around these burdens and these anxieties with our life, all those that we're trying to help and please, and all these responsibilities as human beings. And we try so hard to work it out with each other. And how often we breathe it down to Mother Earth, that very much, is blessed with this energy even. My teacher, Paran, says that there's no such thing as bad energy, just energy in the wrong place. So this is a very symbiotic, sacred relationship. We are made of the earth, and everything we are will return to the earth, at least physically. And our very exhale is nourishment for plant life. And so think of this magnanimous being that we are breathing down to. All the animals and all the forms of life, all the mountains and the deserts and the oceans, all of the great heavens and storms and everything. This is always available to us every day. And then on the inhale, we breathe up, we breathe the answer. Like all of our worries, we can breathe down to the earth. And it is like a drop of water in the ocean. And then on the inhale, we just breathe up pure, pure, reviving life energy, revivifying and purifying us. And if we are starting to feel relief, if we're starting to feel peace, I am certainly there myself right now with this beautiful connection with Gaia, Mother Earth, Pachamama. There are so many names for our magnanimous celestial body that we live on. This is a wonderful time to think of those that need help. Think of those that we care about. Kind of hold them in our hearts. Our hearts become so broad and so vast when we're connected to the earth. And there's a great, great blessing to think of others. Blesses them and it blesses us. All right. So I invite you all to just return your breathing back to the everyday breath. Feeling, ourselves sitting in the seat, feeling our feet on the ground. I invite you to wiggle your toes and your fingers. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. All right. It's beautiful to meditate with you guys. Wow, it's great. All right. Well, I guess we can just go straight. I don't have, I need to prepare a little bit more. Actually, what I could talk about is the immersion class is starting. Um, so yeah, so iamheart.org. I'm teaching an immersion class starting tomorrow, and it's a sliding scale. So I think I can't remember what it is, like $30 or something. But it will be on the elements. It's called a journey through the elements. So we'll be doing more of these practices. We'll be going in a lot more depth. And then we also be working on the dimensions of the heart. And so you might want to just check out the description. It has a description of all the everydays laid out of like what material we're going to cover or what the themes will be if you are interested. And that's not the iam.love website. It's iamheart.org. So maybe Matt, you can put that in the chat or something. All right, so I think we're ready. Matt posted the link to the class in the chat. Thank you, Matt. And so here we go. Let's go ahead and meditate some more. So I invite you to close your eyes. And we'll go through the basics, just much more quickly this time. So tuning into our posture, preparing the body to meditate. Feeling, our feet flat on the ground, adjusting the spine straight up toward the ceiling. Sometimes we like to say there's like a little string pulling us up toward the ceiling with our head pulling us up toward the crown. Shoulders back, chest open. And then we begin to focus on our everyday breath. However, one change we make is now we breathe in and out through the mouth. So there's this kind of fine, gentle breathing that we're doing in and out through the mouth, however it's comfortable for us. And so just kind of like tuning into that. Maybe for some of us, that's our MO, our typical mode of operation. Or some of us, this is something a little bit new. And so we just kind of tune in. How do we feel about that? Are there any emotions riding on the breath? And again, just tuning into the breathing, feeling the air coming into the body and back out again. All right. And then, just like before, I invite you to put one hand on your stomach. And so just like before, we work with this air breath and see if we can deepen the breath and balance the breath between the inhale and the exhale. And so expanding the belly with every inhale and then letting all the air out on the exhale, flexing the stomach muscles on the exhale. And then next up in the practice, we bring in the heart center. And we can place our hand. It's very beautiful to meditate with a hand on the chest and the other hand on the stomach. And this is just about where I want to go with the basics for this practice before we start it guided. Just breath and heart, breath and heart. And this air breath, it often takes us to these spacious places. It can make us a little drowsy. It may stimulate the mind a little bit. We may start to daydream. And this is sort of our anchor in this practice. We return back to the deep, full breath and the heartbeat. And then, further, if that's still not enough, then we can start to sort of wiggle our feet, maybe really feel ourselves seated in the chair, kind of get more physical with the body, tuning into the body. And so that's, I think, as much as I'm going to go into the basics. So hopefully there's some sense of, just meditating here with our hand on our heart is a wonderful place to be, feeling the heartbeat and feeling the full breath, breathing in and out through the mouth. And so then we'll move more into this attunement of the air element. There are many beautiful, beautiful themes when it comes to the air element. Some of the core themes are freedom. So when we move into an air attunement, very often, our theme today is peace. And sometimes it is very helpful, centered in the heartbeat and centered in the breath, to be able to go into a state of freedom, right? A spacious freedom. And that brings us this wonderful inner peace. And so taking some of these metaphors further, we do use the imagination a little bit more here, which is also an air theme, by the way, where on the inhale, it's as if all that is around us comes and contracts into the center spot, which is the center of our heart. You see, so on the inhale, we're breathing in, and it's like we're breathing all that is around us, including all of our thoughts and all of the energies. They all sort of contract into a small little dot in the middle of our heart, or just our heart itself. Maybe not so much a dot, but it's a little different for everyone. And then on the exhale, we breathe it all back out. Do you see? So it's like we're this star or something. There are these cataclysmic things that happen in the universe, like these births of these stars or the Big Bang. And so on the inhale, it all contracts in. Our whole energy field contracts into the heart on the inhale. And then on the exhale, it just expands out a little bit further every time. Do you see? This is the nature of creation: expansion and contraction. That's what the air breath is about. So there's a vastness to it. Really, there's no limit. With every exhale, we expand out in all directions. And then on the inhale, it's everything that was gained and learned and experienced in that expansion comes back and contracts in. And so initially, some of the early signs that we're going into an air attunement is freedom, spaciousness. But then there's a lot of other wonderful themes of the air breath, and one of them is wisdom. This is a core theme with the air element attunement. And, we like to say that the mind is the surface of the heart. So by breathing this way and expanding out, all of the potentialities and all of the possibilities in our life are being sort of considered. Do you see in this kind of wave that comes out on the exhale? And then on the inhale, it's all contracted and collected back to us. And some beautiful, beautiful signs of an air breath attunement is that we receive wisdom that we would not receive another way. And this starts to get kind of mystical. The mystic goes north and does not know why. We think of a person that we haven't thought of in many years. It's like, oh, okay. So these are these signs of the wisdom of the heart, which we consider to be the deepest wisdom. And it appears in the mind, right? The surface of the heart is the mind. So the air breath is a beautiful breath to do when we have some challenges in life. We need inspiration. Another wonderful quality of the air element is inspiration and guidance. Absolutely, is guidance. And the telltale sign is it's something that we wouldn't have arrived at in our everyday thinking. Somehow, some situation, in our tradition, we often meditate on the challenging situations we have in our everyday life. Raising children is very challenging. Dealing with bosses we don't like is very challenging, right? This is what the air breath is wonderful at. How do we think of it in a different way? Well, with our hearts. The heart shows us symbolically something different. It's looked at in a different way. And we needed this peace, this spaciousness, and the safety of expanding out in all possibilities to get to that place. with our heart energized, we don't feel all the hardness and harshness of life, and so that we can make the right decision. Do you see? It's not easy to be human. And sometimes we need this freedom and spaciousness in order to make a wise decision. And then we're going to listen to a song. So we'll meditate to some music. All right. So I invite you to come back from the meditation, back to the everyday breath. Maybe wiggle your toes and fingers. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, Matt, I was thinking, where are all of the meditations posted on YouTube?
Uh, we don't have last week's yet, so
Yeah,
all of them
I
before
couldn't
then,
find. I
yes.
tried to look for it. I'm sorry. I
No
don't think.
worries.
I was actually hoping you can take over next week with the recordings, so that you don't rely on me.
Oh yeah, no, happy to, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, otherwise they go on YouTube. Is that right? And that's linked
hmm
on the on I Am Love site. Yeah.
Yeah, on
Okay.
the blog, yeah.
Sure. I had this insight during the meditation.
During the air element meditation. Wow.
Yeah. I haven't done air in quite some time in a group, like that basic practice in a group. And so I had a really wonderful experience for myself. Yeah, deep and profound.
Do
Um,
tell.
well, it would, yeah, I mean, it's one of these things like about my family, about what I want to do in the future, you know.
Wow.
It helped me reprioritize. I was focused more on, you know, I work at a bank and my career. And so that was very helpful what came from me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I spend a lot of time kind of with music. It's something I love to meditate to music. I do it all the time. And so I have all these different pieces for the elements and for other attunements. And this is something I learned from our teachers here. We like to meditate with music. It's a great trick when you don't feel like you want to meditate, is to put on, a wonderful piece. And so, yeah, I'm glad you're still with us. I have definitely these experiences sometimes where the air breath where I'm transported. It's definitely one of my favorites. I hope you have sweet dreams, right? Hopefully we're all we're all gonna sleep well. All right, well, thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you next week, and I hope you have a great week.